Well, hello, lovely people out there, and welcome to another edition of Football Junction on your studio here with me. My name is Fauzan, and I'm here transmitting live from the Arabic capital of the world, Doha, Qatar. And in today's program, we have Premier League matches coming next day, which is tomorrow, which happens to be the new year. And already in Australia and some Asian countries, the new year has just begun. And so, happy new year to those of you who are watching me from Australia. Welcome to the channel once again, and I'm going to run through the program schedule for today. Before I do so, I would like to urge you to hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button because so many excitement is going to come your way as the program unfolds. Hit the subscribe button. In between the program schedule, we are going to have some water break as well as a little bit of some music break. But I believe and urge you and ensure accordingly that the program is going to be an interesting one and you are not going to regret joining me today to watch the show. Program lineup for today, as usual, is the preview of Premier League matches coming tomorrow, and we have some exciting matches coming tomorrow. Believe you me, we have the top of the lineup being Arsenal versus Manchester United, which is coming off tomorrow, and we also have Brighton versus Chelsea. We also have Burnley versus Aston Villa as well as other matches. Later on, we are going to analyze and go a little bit in detail with the Chelsea game and then also a little bit of the top liner, which is the Manchester United and Arsenal game, and also and other matters. First and foremost, I will run through the matches for you. We have Brighton, Chelsea, as I earlier indicated. We also have Burnley, Aston Villa coming up your way. And I expect Burnley to bounce back coming from their loss against Manchester United, which they lost 2-0. Newcastle United versus Leicester. And Leicester too just recently were walloped by Liverpool 4 goals to 0, to which gave a confirmation to Liverpool that the Premier League title is indeed theirs for the taking. So I expect Leicester to account for Newcastle in this encounter. We also have Southampton versus Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur are going to try to win this match because after recently losing to Chelsea and then drawing in their previous game, I think this is the game that Jose Mourinho has to make sure he accounts for the Southampton boys. Though recently Southampton came to the Stamford Bridge to shock Chelsea by giving Chelsea a 2 goals scoreline, a 2 goal beating. And so I expect Southampton to find Jose Mourinho's Spurs a bit tougher in this encounter. And despite their surprise win at the Stamford Bridge, I think Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur is going to beat Southampton in this encounter. We also have Watford against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolverhampton Wanderers recently have been doing well. They came back from a 2 goal lead against Manchester City recently during the controversial VAR match in which Raheem Sterling had to retake his penalty again and the keeper saved before notching it into the net. And as the match proceeded, Wolverhampton Wanderers overturned the scoreline when Adama Traore was introduced into the game at the latter in the second half. The game turned upside down and ended 3-2 in favor of Wolverhampton Wanderers. And so Wolves against Watford, I expect Nuno Espirito to do something better and account for them, despite the fact that he's still coming back from crying so bitterly against Liverpool when an equalizer, which I personally thought should have stood and the match should have been 1-1, ended up being disallowed by the referee on that day. And so, honestly, I expect Wolverhampton Wanderers to atone for that pain and beat Watford. We also have Man City playing Everton. Um, the time is 20 hours 30 local time here in Doha. Flipping through back to take again the Burnley Aston Villa match, though I've already highlighted it. The time is 15:30 p.m. Doha time, and so that is British time of 12:30 p.m. We are also going to look at Man City Everton. Everton has been rejuvenated by the arrival of um, Carlo Ancelotti. Carlo Ancelotti has won back to back recently, has given them a morale boost with Dominic Calvert-Lewin doing the do as he did against Chelsea. And so I expect them to give Man City a good game. But in the end, Pep Guardiola is expected to have a slim margin win over the Everton boys, despite the rejuvenation being pumped into them by Carlo Ancelotti. Norwich and Crystal Palace are going to also battle out for the 3 points. And Norwich, they are a kind of up and down team. Today they play well, the next day they mess up. And so you can't really predict them. They are an unpredictable side. And on the part of Crystal Palace, Jordan Ayew is also getting the scoring sheets on. I think in the last encounter 2 days ago, he scored a spectacular goal with a spectacular dribble from the right wing side, dribbling about four players before lobbing the ball over the goalkeeper to win the match against West Ham. And so I think in their encounter against Norwich, they are going to be rejuvenated and boosted by that performance. But trust you me, Norwich is unpredictable and cannot be predicted. West Ham and Bournemouth are also going to play in their match, and I expect this to be a cagey and much keenly contested match. Though West Ham are playing, who maybe Bournemouth could get a draw, or if even a win, West Ham should go ahead with the win. And then we also the other two matches have you will bear in mind with me that I've delayed and not really highlighted on that because I will go into a little bit detail with it. Those matches are the Arsenal, Manchester United, and then Brighton, Chelsea. That is what we are going to do. In the meantime, I think I would like to take a water break and come back accordingly. Let's enjoy this one. Okay. So we are going to look at the match involving Manchester United and Arsenal a little bit. Take another water break, stroke music break, and come back again to the next part of the show. But Manchester United is having it all to do in this encounter as it is quite precious to them in their quest to chase Chelsea in the top four contest. Remember, the top four position is up for grabs with the exception of Liverpool, who is in commanding lead, leading the table with 14 points. The rest, the likes of Manchester City, um, Leicester City, Chelsea, Sheffield United, Wolves, Tottenham, and even possibly Arsenal, who are far away, are fighting for the rest of the three slots. I must say. So What we are gathering ahead of the encounter is that Paul Pogba is in contention to start, despite the injury he had just some time recently. He's in contention to make a comeback, and so Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm not sure he's going to risk him in this encounter, but he is in contention to start in the encounter. Let me try and give you a predicted lineup of Man United in this encounter. The possible predicted lineup of this in this encounter. We have David De Gea in post, Erwin Wan-Bissaka as the, of course, right fullback there to cover up. We also have Luke Shaw at the left fullback position. We also have um, Victor Lindelof there. Harry Maguire is also there. Pogba and Fred will be in the middle. Reason being that I think Scott McTominay, my Scottish man, is injured. Unfortunately, he has a knee injury problem and will keep him out for around 4 weeks or so. And so he is not going to miss, unfortunately, this encounter. We also have Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, James, and then Anthony Marshall spearheading the attack. So a kind of 4-2-3-1 formation against Arsenal. Arsenal are also going to come with their usual surprise list of David Luiz. Callum Chambers is also missing. So Callum Chambers and reports I'm gathering is that he will even be lost for the entire rest of the season as a result of the injury he's suffering. And so this is the possible lineup of Manchester United as they come up against Arsenal. So let me take another possibly water break and come back to on a little bit of news on Arsenal. Okay, so we are going to look at the possible predicted lineup that Coach Mikel Arteta is going to come up with. Remember, he was recently beaten by Chelsea in a cruel way. Just was leading in the game till the 82nd minute when Jorginho of Chelsea surprisingly popped up to score an equalizer, and Tammy Abraham gave Chelsea the win. So we are going to look at their predicted lineup for this encounter. We have Beleno in post, Bellerin is going to man the right fullback, Mustafi, David Luiz, Bukayo Saka, Gundozi, Torreira. We have Nelson, Ozil, Aubameyang, and Lacazette. Lacazette is going to lead the attack. So a kind of 4-2-3-1 formation going into this encounter. And Mikel Arteta is under pressure to win his first match, despite the fact that he's been praised for fluidity and quite accuracy in the kind of football he has introduced to Arsenal. Despite his virgin experience at the highest level as a manager, he's doing quite well for Arsenal in terms of a beautiful style of play, but in terms of statistical points, he's yet to get 3 points, though has survived a draw once so far. This is his third game as the man in charge of Arsenal. And so hopefully we at Football Junction here are going to wish him the best of luck as he goes into this encounter. Probably it will be too painful for him to lose this one too. Maybe probably a draw given the recent form of Manchester United in encounters against the big sides. Remember, they defeated Chelsea 4-0 in the first match, defeated Man City at the Etihad, was the only side to hold Liverpool to a draw in this year's Premiership. Remember, Liverpool has not dropped points with the exception of their match against Manchester United. And Manchester United also defeated Tottenham, Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspurs. They also drew with Arsenal 1-1. So, judging from their performances against the big sides, top 6 sides, top 5 sides with the exception of them, I would think that maybe probably they will go in for a win or draw. because it's the most likely. Because when it comes to the big games, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, hate him or love him, is the master of the big games. He's had his tactics spot on when he meets the big teams. He sits back and counters on the break effectively. That's the kind of style he's adopting, and up till now, he has succeeded effectively. And so I wouldn't rule that out when he's going to play this encounter. And so it's going to be a cagey encounter, as you can bear in mind with me. Let's take another water break and take the final game. But still, I urge you to hit the subscribe button of the Football Junction channel, because this is the winning team. Trust you me, joining us, it means you are joining the winning team. You are joining the winning team. We will be right back. Let's enjoy this break before we come back and do the Chelsea match. Welcome back to the Football Junction show. I expect you to hit the subscribe button as I continue the show with the last preview of tomorrow's New Year encounter. Happy New Year to those of you in some part of Asian countries. I'm going to look at the Chelsea Brighton game, which is going to be the last game of the show. Brighton is going to fix a possible lineup structure of 4-3-3. Goalkeeper Ryan is going to be in post. Montoya is there. Dunk, Duffy, Ben manning the defense. And then we have more Stevens, Alzate, Ross, Connolly, and Trossard continuing their lineup in 4-3-3 fashion. The players which are unavailable are March and then Isquedo. Both players are doubtful and could not join up in this encounter against Chelsea. In the first encounter at the Stamford Bridge, Chelsea won 2-0 with a classic penalty from goals from Jorginho and Willian Borges de Silva. Classic penalty for that matter from Jorginho. And I expect Chelsea to also perform better in this encounter. As usual, we're going to have the usual suspects in post. Kepa, Arrizabalaga. I expect to see Tariq Lamptey being called up again, though controversially. I expect Tariq Lamptey to go to the left, right fullback position. Cesar Azpilicueta to go to the left fullback position, because I've told you on this show time and time again in my previous shows that I don't trust Emerson. Emerson is responsible for losing most of our Chelsea matches. I will give that in details in subsequent shows further another day for that matter. And so I don't really trust Emerson Palmieri. I think Cesar Azpilicueta should be deployed at the left fullback position, and then as usual in the middle we should have Zuma and then Rudiger or this player Fikayo Tomori. In the middle, I expect the three usual suspects to play, depending on if this game is against Brighton. Maybe possibly Lampard may go with the 4-2-2. Let me restructure again. We have Tariq Lamptey here. Or I don't know, because I'm gathering information that Fikayo Tomori may not be fully fit. It depends on the circumstances till tomorrow. If he's fit, I expect him to be deployed at the right fullback position. Cesar Azpilicueta, the number 3 position, left fullback. Rudiger and Kurt Zuma as usual. So we have the 4 back there. In the middle, we should have N'Golo Kante, Kovacic, and then Jorginho. In the last third of the field, which is the 4-3-3, we should have Pulisic coming back. Pulisic has recovered from his injury. In the last games that you did not see him, he was having a little minor injuries back. And then we should have William Borges da Silva and then Tammy Abraham leading the lines for Chelsea. And so I think with this lineup, Chelsea is going to get the results. I think Frank Lampard should do that for me, because as I keep on saying in these shows, Frank Lampard, I respect him as a legend. He is our coach. He knows it, most of the tactics right. He is close to the players as a result of monitoring their training regime and other activities that they do closer. But be that as it may, from afar, if you check the statistical point and the games that we've played so far, I think the selection to be done is what I highlighted, because I trust Marcos Alonso, because still information I've gathered is that Marcos Alonso is not fit. So I think he wouldn't be available in this encounter. Hence, me trusting Cesar Aspilicueta to be deployed at the left full back position, which ordinarily should have been for Marcos Alonso. Before I try to wrap up the program, I urge you to join the winning team. This is going to be the winning team, and don't be too late in joining the team. Please, please, please subscribe. Subscribe to this channel of Football Junction. Subscribe. You are going to enjoy a lovely program interspersed with water and little bit of musical breaks. Please hit the subscribe and notification button, as this is going to be a new revolution in football analysis online, because football analysis, as I said time and time again, has centered on matches and scorelines and other activities, ignoring the impact that players do directly make in the games. So in our subsequent shows, one paramount thing that I'm trying to highlight is the impact that football players bring on in matches, leading to their teams getting one result or the other. So I'm going to highlight it. Those of you who have been following me from the onset and the start of my shows on these channels, you could see that I highlighted and talked about the impact of MSN vis-a-vis how he has indirectly contributed to Chelsea losing so many matches. And so in subsequent matches, I'm going to pick another player to highlight his effectiveness. Maybe Fikayo Tomori, how effective he has been. I think he's doing quite fantastic and tremendous for Chelsea. He needs commendation much well. And so I will still urge and still repeating myself, please, 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 please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much and have a good night. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye.